My name is Sifu Allan Chiem. I am the owner and operator of Lethbridge Koon Kung Fu Academy, and I've been in business for 15 years. We've moved around a little bit, but this particular building, I think we've been here since 2010. I think 2010 is when we moved in. First started teaching outside of my backyard, and then I went to the Bill Kurgan Center, and then I was upstairs of this building for a little while, and then the building caught on fire. And we moved like 3 doors down from here, which was Desert Wind Belly Dancers. And we were there for the longest time waiting for this building to get repaired. And then when they finally did repair this building, that's when we moved back in here. So yeah, I think that was around 2010.
The fire wasn't from you, right?
No, you know what's funny is we were actually in Winnipeg at the time for a tournament.
Alibi.
Yeah. And so we're in Winnipeg and we're having dinner with the group. All the phones from the Lethbridge people, they started blowing up. And everyone's like, oh my God, the building's on fire, but we're like 2 provinces away and we can't do anything about it. It was horrific because all our stuff was still in here. But no, it was, we're not sure what started the fire, but it was quite scary because, you know, all of our stuff was here and we couldn't even come save it. Yeah. So this building is essentially owned by the Chinese Freemasons, the Hong Moon. And then before 2008, before it got blown down, across the street there used to be the Chinese Nationalist building. And so the Chinese Nationalists and the Hong Moon were rivals against each other in China. And so when they moved to Lethbridge, the Nationalists came first, they erected their building, and then deliberately to spite their enemies, the Hong Moon actually erected their building across the street. And so like there would be fist fights between the 2 groups just in front of this building here way back when in the early 1900s, I guess. But then their building got blown over, I believe, in 2008 in a windstorm. And by that time, they had started to patch things up. I think the Hong Moon actually donated a lot of money to help them try to restore the building, and I don't think that actually went through, and that's why it's a parking lot now. A lot of Chinese history happened here. This building actually, the basement of this building has been renovated to a residential, but prior to that, it was like a hallway with like a bunch of side rooms because the Hong Moon and the Nationalists, they were designed to kind of help Chinese immigrants when they moved to Canada. And so from my understanding, that hallway plus those side rooms were essentially just places where people could sleep, right? It was considered kind of like illegal and underground. And so this building actually has like, before renovations anyway, like secret trapdoors and like exits. There's still one in the back that's it's embedded into the floor and you can hardly see it, but it's there. And it's designed for a quick escape from the basement to our back entrance. So yeah, there's lots of fighting here. There's lots of weird like underground mysterious stuff that goes on here. So it's cool that I get to like occupy a building and teach Chinese martial arts in a building that historically has seen like a lot of violence between not just Chinese during that time, like the early 1900s. There was a lot of racism against Chinese people as well. And so the Chinese people who historically occupied this area of town were very, I guess, accustomed to a lot of violence. Yeah.
Have you ever had to use a trapdoor?
Just in a game of hide and seek, actually. Yeah.
Where you found, is that like a really good spot? That seems like it would be a really good spot.
It was. They searched upstairs, and then as soon as they went down these stairs to try to find me, I took the trapdoor and went back upstairs. So yeah, they couldn't find me, but it was a very functional trapdoor. It worked really well. Yeah, it was good. It was good. We put our fridge on top of it, so it doesn't open anymore. But I can see why the placement of where it was super important in the past. Yeah. I was born in Lethbridge, and then I moved to Calgary with my family when I was 14. And the reason I came back down to Lethbridge was for U of L. So I graduated U of L, the history degree. The last paper that I did for my history degree was actually on Lethbridge Chinatown. And so it's cool that I got to study about this particular area of town, and now I operate a business in that very part of town. It's neat because based off of the research that I did, I could like kind of envision all of the goings on way back when. And now the street looks like this and it's all modernized, but I can still, like in my mind's eye, I can still picture all of those old things happening. That's a really cool experience as a historian. I don't think when I first came down here that I was gonna end up in this particular area of town. Like a lot of stars had to like come into alignment for me to actually get this place. It's cool that I came down here to study history, and now I'm like teaching a traditional martial arts, which is a kind of a link back to historical China in a historical part of Lethbridge Chinatown. It's a super cool feeling for me. I think all together I've probably about 25 years now that I've been doing martial arts. Yeah. Yeah, like, yeah, I'm 39 now. Yeah, 25 years. Yeah. I really like the kind of those light bulb moments, right? There's a lot of people who come through my door with these weird, I guess, Hollywood-inspired expectations, and then they start taking my class, and they're like, that's not what I was expecting. The way that I break things down, a lot of my students tend to like pick things up a lot faster than they've experienced in other martial arts classes. And then when they make that link between like what we're doing in class and how that applies to like what they could potentially encounter in real life, they have like this light bulb moment. That's my favorite thing to ever happen. Like I just love being able to pass this information down to the next generation, and then actually have them register in their head, hey, this is what all that training is going towards. Yeah, that's a good feeling for me. So the style that I do called Charlie Fight, or at least that's the style that I started off with. It was a rebel style. It was founded in China during one of the most tumultuous times in China, the Qing dynasty. These rebels, they were fighting essentially professional soldiers, like professional Qing soldiers, but they were farmers and merchants and scholars and just people who didn't have any actual fighting experience. And so not only did they have access to standardized weapons like swords and spears and normal army weapons, they also had weird weapons like the bench and the umbrella and the fan and the cane and the flute. And I just thought that it'd be cool to highlight some of these traditional weapons and also bring lesser known weird weapons that are essentially just everyday objects that were repurposed in the weapons. This array of weaponry, this traditional Chinese weapons, I think I might be the only school that actually does stuff like that. And so I just wanted to like highlight that. And here's all the weapon selections that we have, and come check it out. So, yeah.
Do you have a favorite weapon?
It used to be the fan. I guess the fan is still my favorite weapon. It's collapsible and it's functional. I can carry it around and use it as a fan to keep myself cool in the summer. But as far as weapons that I think have like that really cool look to them, that one back there called the horse chopper, the Chinese glaive. It's essentially just a giant blade attached to the end of a staff. It's not a functional like 21st century weapon. I couldn't carry that around in the street and be inconspicuous. That's definitely, people would notice for sure.